Good afternoon, guys. It's Fictitious here. Today I'm going to be going through that really prestigious game that arguably ignited the whole craze for the Killing Thing genre. Yep, it is Modern Warfare 1 Call of Duty 4. This is the game that has been excellently rated by some people and I think won Game of the Year. However, it's also been called incredibly controversial and racist by others and that kind of stuff. So basically, yeah, it is your typical first-person shooter. This game is the first game in the Modem Wafer series that, over the course of all three separate releases, leads to 420 degrees of the planet descending into total war, with Modern Warfare 1 being the first game in the franchise. The plot of this Killfest is that you are the good guys and the Russians/Middle Easterns are the bad guys. And that would be that little bit of controversy kicking in. Yeah. However, guys, don't worry, it's not racist, it's absolutely fine, because the Russian bad guys are actually terrorists, which just automatically makes the execution of civilians fine. And the Middle Easterns are... Okay, yes, this is an intensely racist game. But there we are, back to the plot. Basically what you have to do over the whole thing is find one bad dude, kill him, then find another bad dude, kill him, then find another bad dude, kill him. So yeah, it's a fairly standard story which is overused in all of the Modern Warfares and most of the actual COD series franchise, if I know correctly. But there we are. Yeah, this is the one that did it first, I think. So there we are. Good job. The campaign gameplay is pretty good. The controls are fairly logical and it overall runs smoothly, which is a pretty nice feature to have in a game, albeit rather novel in games that have been released as of late. The graphics of the game are, well, they're very different to that of the later ones. I don't know what they've done, but this one I personally think looks better. It just has a more crisp feeling to it. I don't know why, it's hard to explain, it just looks nicer than the later ones, probably because this was before their entire graphics department turned into people who can't do graphics. There we are. Stuff is overall naturally pretty detailed, which is, yeah, there we are, that sums it up, isn't it? It's detailed, it just looks good. The guns you get overall are pretty good. I mean, come on guys, we can't exactly talk about first-person shooter without writing about the guns, can we? That would defeat the whole point! And yeah, basically, my favourite gun in this game is the G36C, though I'm sure everyone else has their own favourite thing or whatever, even though they do the exact same job. I just chose this one because it sounds best, which is generally how I choose what gun I use most on anything, is how it sounds, because, well, you already have the same stats, don't you? You point, shoot, the thing will die. It happens, it's a gun, that's the whole point. If it didn't do that, it would be a stick. On the topic of sounds, the sounds and music overall are pretty decent. They don't completely mess it up by doing some big bombastic orchestral piece in the tense moments or whatever, making the whole game sound like the fucking BBC proms, which is pretty good, I suppose. And overall, it's a satisfying thing. You don't have to, it doesn't go over the top, but it does it enough to make it work, which I personally like. The multiplayer of this game is basically a massive shitfest of blood, death, war, teeth and guts, so therefore ticks every single one of the boxes that Infinity Vision and Actiward wanted to when they set out making this game. Therefore, from a developer's point of view, it is an utter triumph. From a gamer's point of view, it is also pretty good, which is actually rare because usually when the developers achieve their goals, everyone hates them and wishes that they would go to hell and never ever ever come back. So they did good on this one. The overall feeling of the multiplayer is pretty fluid. It has a fairly logical weapon unlock sequence, which makes it generally pleasing to play, and also means that when you get the big achievements like unlocking golden pistols or golden camouflages for each class of gun, you actually feel like you've achieved something. You haven't just wasted your entire life like you have. The sniping is actually really good in this game, and I generally judge a multiplayer how good it is by how well you can snipe in it, because I'm generally a sniper. So personally I quite liked it because I can snipe well. But what actually makes this one stand out for me than the later ones is because in this is before you had crazy knifing, which, well, we all know what crazy knifing is. It's fucking annoying. So it means that you can't just be walking around actually trying to play properly like a regular soldier would, and then have some dude who looks like he's just injected a pound of methamphetamine running at you with needles stabbing you in the fucking eyes, which just obliterates your entire life forever. And on the topic of knives, this game also has intensely overpowered knifing, like they all do. A 50 caliber bullet isn't a guaranteed kill, even though in real life it would go through a tank. Where here, knife, ooh, you're dead, man. Nothing. You can't. You're done. You may as well just fuck off. You're killed. There's no point. You may as well come off the game and go down and go out and be social or something. You may as well. It's just not going to work anymore for you. Some of the bad points in this, besides the knifing, are that some of the maps I personally just found a bit confusing in the layout. But there we are. Then again, the majority of them are good. And this could just be because whenever I find a map that has any kind of open space, I immediately just break down into a fit of tears and cry everywhere because I can't deal with it. So it's actually probably just personal preference. All in all, it was a pretty good game, and it is probably the best thing that ever happened to the COD franchise. Maybe they should learn from this and finally realise that the way not to make a game is to do exactly what they're doing, which is taking all the other games that they've released, taking out every minute detail and kind of stitching it into some kind of fucking slab of nothing that's shit and no one likes and gets ripped to shreds in every review ever. And they also should realise that the way to make a good game is just get a decent single player that isn't a pile of shit, and then have a multiplayer that works pretty well, and stop pumping everything into the multiplayer and then just leaving like a little side campaign thingy that no one likes because it's so unbelievably awful. Ghosts.